welcome back to Chart Wizard Trading. This is an account that I haven't really shown too much before out in the wild. It's a variation of account. Not saying the other one's bad, but given the current price action that we're going to get into, kind of jumping this one ahead right now. I'm not in love with it, that's for sure. But it is kind of jumping ahead as far as primary counts go. But before we dig in, I've got to pour a drink. First, we need some ice. Don't forget to smash that notification bell. While I grab this bottle back here, today's drink of choice is going to be Jim Beam. Smash that like button for me. Don't forget to subscribe. Because if this is accurate, it's about to be game over for the stock market. Game over. But to understand it a little more, we're going to have to go a little bit further back. Now you can check my past videos. There's other options here. But today we're just talking about this option. If we go back in time, let's go to the weekly time frame. If we go back in time, okay, we have, that guy belongs there, okay? So take a peek at the yellow count. That's a holdover from something. Okay. Take a look at the yellow count. These labels aren't in the correct place. Okay. These belong over here more. But regardless, that should go there. I don't know why this got moved, but go back in time. We have from the 1929 crash. Okay. Boom. Which I believe is a triangle. I have a whole video detailing that, but if you really want to see it, I can throw some quick labels on this. Okay, so you can see the triangle. Okay, and this would be what's called a barrier triangle. All right, where waves B and D form a barrier, and the rest of the waves here, C and E, contract. Okay, it would be a barrier triangle for a fourth wave. Okay, and this is all the fifth wave. So we have in yellow here 1, 2, 3, expanded flat 4, and finished the fifth. Okay. Off the 2009 low, we have 5 waves up. All right. There's a couple things I don't like about the account as far as time goes. And we have relatively short-term options for it. But as far as current price action goes, which I'll explain on the smaller time frame here in a moment, given recent price action, this seems the most likely option. Now, can the market prove to us that it's a little bit different? Sure. Prove it. Okay, and I'm not getting rid of the old count. Okay, it's not gone. This is just an alternative to. So 5 waves, here you can see the white ones here. 5 waves off of the 2009 low with an extended third wave. So the yellow here, this is the third wave extension. Okay. Now I had a comment on my last video, and somebody was confused. And I was kind of confused by the comment, but after I read it back a couple times, I kind of realized what they were saying. And somebody had commented that this here is a triangle. Yes. Okay, it's an expanding triangle. and that whatever follows a triangle has to be the final wave. And I said, yes. Oh, I don't understand the question, right? Yes, that is true. And I responded in kind on that comment. And I said, yeah, what you're saying is accurate. What's the question, right? And after I read it a couple more times, I kind of realized what he meant. He meant that since this was a triangle, wasn't it supposed to end here and not here? Ah, now I see where you're going with it. What a triangle shows you is that it just precedes the final actionary wave of that degree. Okay? So that is true. It is the penultimate move of this yellow count. 1, 2, 3, triangle. Yep, whatever happens after triangle, that's it. That's number 5, and it's all done. And that's what we got. Okay? That doesn't mean that it's the end of all degrees. It just means that that degree must be finished, and it was. Okay? Now, that we have this bigger perspective, we can come back down to the daily. So we have this final 5th wave up into this 3. There's multiple interpretations of as well. Okay. For this, what I have labeled as a 4th wave down, I have it labeled as a double zigzag now. Previous video, I have it labeled as a triple zigzag. Label it however you want. Okay. This is just another way to label it. We don't have to sit here and get in an argument about, oh, this is how you're supposed to label it, or is it a triple zigzag, or what? Like, who cares? Right? I mean, there's a way to honestly label this, and I've showed it in the Dow video, the previous one. There's a way to label this as a single zigzag. What we're more interested in is the price action off of this low here. All right, so what we have here is labeled as an impulse. So 1 with a flat 2, 3, and a double zigzag 4. Okay. Again, it's the same thing right here. Label how you want. Double zigzag, triple zigzag. You might even be able to make that one a single zigzag. Okay. Doesn't matter. Who cares? It's a correction. And it alternates with this one. So you have alternation between your 2 and your 4. The 3rd wave is not the shortest. And then you have your 5th wave. Okay. Now what I don't like about this from the macro perspective is that this 4 right here is labeled is teeny tiny in time compared to this one. Okay, and it's never happened really before on a macro time scale in this S&P 500. It doesn't mean it can't. There's no rule that says that the 4 has to be bigger. Okay, and if we get some more price action here, which I'll show you on the smaller time frame, if we get some more price action here, oh, that still may be correct. Because if you check my last count, basically I have this not as a 4, as an A wave. This is not an impulse. Okay, it's a zigzag of some sort, zigzag family, for a B wave, and then we're expecting 5 down in a C. Okay, and the 4 would come over here. All right. Those are the 2 counts. This video is about this one, because I haven't shown this count yet. So that's what we're going to talk about. You'll notice that either way, I am almost certain that this low is going to break. Either way, whether this is all finished or whether you're getting 5 down in a C wave, that this low is going to break. Okay. It's not going to be tomorrow. It's going to take time. But I'm almost certain of that. Now, let's check out the smaller time frame here. So this is the S&P E-mini futures. And the reason I use this chart is because it smooths out the price action. You don't get the opening and closing gaps and so on and so forth that you get in the cash chart. Gaps all over the place and on the smaller time frames. So I use this one to smooth it out. Okay. And from this low, so this low here is the October low, which is here. Okay. So all we're looking at is this final 5 waves. And as it stands right now, what we have is a completed impulse with an extended first wave. So you have a first wave extension and a completed impulse. Okay. And honestly, you kind of have a first and third wave extension. So the first and the third wave are both extended. And here's our all familiar triangle for the person with the triangle question. Okay. As the fourth wave. All right. So we have alternation here. You have a flat for 2. And you have a contracting triangle for 4. That's alternation. A lot of people think that alternation is only sharp and sideways, when in fact that's not what the book says. What the book says that alternation is one will come close to or create a new high with the B wave or the X wave. Okay, and then the other won't. And that's what we have here. We have a second wave that created a new high in the B wave, a corrective new high, okay, and then we just have a simple contracting triangle. Followed by a 5-wave impulse to complete the entire pattern. All right, and if I turn the wave on this, that's what the impulse looks like. Okay, zoom out a little bit, move this here. There's your impulse. All right. Now the reason I've elevated this count right now, all right, is because of this one. Okay, this is a complete impulse, or could be. There's near-term options, all right, but here's the thing: you already have 2 extensions. You have 1, 2, 4, 5 extension here, okay, and you have this is an extended wave as well, okay, but you could argue that this is the biggest thing, this is the biggest daddy on the block. So the whole impulse, therefore, technically could be said that it is not extended. Which opens the door for this wave to extend. Okay, but you need to get something similar in amplitude to this right here. All right. And what that near-term option would look like, instead of this 5 being here, okay, that this is done, that's just the first wave of the 5. So you would get something like this. All right, to finish it up. But I will say that if that were the case, the guideline for this right here, for this ensuing correction to bottom, is right here, right at the end of this 4th wave. And it kind of just blew right past that. All right. And especially if we get 5 down here. All right. It doesn't have to create a new low, but obviously if it does, then the extension count is over, because it's a rule of Elliott wave that the second wave cannot exceed the start of the first. So if you get this come down like this in 5 waves, whether it breaks this low or not, if you come down in 5 waves, that can only begin something. And it looks like that's the path that we're headed down right now. So therefore, this is the preferred count. And if that's the case, okay, let's look at this for a moment then. Explain why I've now jumped an impulse pattern to the preferred count. For an impulse, you need 3 impulses, right? Interrupted by 2 corrections. So 1, 2, 3 impulses. Okay, as you can see, we just counted this. The same thing we just counted on a smaller time frame. That's an impulse, right? In order for this B wave now to be a double zigzag, all right, ignore these yellow labelings right now, but you would have to go A, B, C, okay, so that would be a W wave because you got 5, 3, 5, W wave, right? This would be your X wave, where I have a 4, that would be an X, but then you need another zigzag. You need another 5, 3, 5. Well, right now we don't have that. Okay, we don't have it. We would need this smaller count. Okay, so what we have here, we have 5, we have 3, but we would need this to be 5. And it's not. That would have had to end here. Then you would have 5, 3, 5. But we didn't. We didn't get that. We got 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5. Well, what is 5, 3, 5, 3, 5? An impulse. So you can't have an impulse at the end of this, right, to make this all a zigzag. Now, can you come back down like this and then make a new high and then you can do it? Absolutely. Yes, then that can be a B wave. Okay, but as it stands right now, it cannot be. So therefore, this count has jumped to preferred status. So, oopsie. What does this mean? Okay. Well, what this means, this count now is actually worse off. I had a more bullish count before. This one is more bearish. A lot more bearish. Because as I showed at the beginning, this yellow 5 here ends something going back 100 years. Okay. What does that mean? That means that this market needs to correct. Okay. And it needs to correct a lot. We probably have to go to the monthly view to look at this. Okay. Here is your previous 4th wave. Now, does it have to get there? No. Okay. It's just a guideline. What the guideline tells us is that this should correct down to here, which is really, really, really far away. All right. And highly unlikely. The more likely thing that would happen due to the exponential growth of this is you would correct, okay, to here, which is the previous 4th wave of an extension. That's more likely what would happen. Regardless, that's still a long way away. You have to come down and correct whatever you're going to get, right? So to put this more in perspective, that's a super cycle, okay? That means that this is the 5th wave, okay, of a super cycle, and that I don't have the label up here, but this is the 3rd wave. Where's my marker? Okay, this is now the 3rd wave, so the even bigger degree, the 3rd wave of a grand super cycle, which means what's happening next is a 4th wave. Now, I don't have the luxury to go back on this chart and see what the 2nd wave of a grand super cycle degree is. That's way back here somewhere, okay, that I can't see. Was that a sharp correction? Was that a sideways correction? Because we are expecting alternation. Generally, 4th waves move sideways. Okay, you can get multiple things from a sideways 4th wave. You can get a flat. you can get a regular flat, okay? As this one was a flat. This was an expanded flat here. So, but a regular flat would look something like this, okay? Taking a long time to develop. Okay, you can get, I would say you probably would not get an expanded flat because you got an expanded flat here. So where you're correcting to likely wouldn't be the same pattern, okay, as what you're making. It would be something different. So it would either probably be a regular flat or it would be a triangle, but likely a running triangle, okay, because you got a barrier triangle here, okay. This would likely be a running triangle, and you got an expanding triangle here. So next best thing, next bet would probably be a running triangle, which means that your A wave would come down likely first all the way to here. Then you'd get a just magnificent 3-wave bull run to create new all-time highs. And then it would contract over several years, C, D, E, and then you're off again. And another 5th wave. Okay, if that's grand supercycle degree, then this one is going to be the 5 that belongs with that one. Okay, and this would be your 4. That would be the most logical thing to happen if this is correct, is that you would, my guess would be you would get either a regular flat or a running triangle. Okay. But it depends what that second wave was, and I can't see it. Okay. So, all in all, that's what it means. Now, I update this count several times per week in my Discord on wavecounts.com. Okay. You get a free trial, month-long trial for free. See if it's for you. If you're just looking for somebody to tell you exactly what's going to happen, then don't even bother signing up. This is for people who want to invest in themselves, learn how to do this themselves with the support of the Chart Wizard Trading community. Okay, if that's not you, then Chart Wizard Trading isn't for you. You're not the person who should be there. I'm sometimes just saying this up front because I don't want you to waste your time. Okay, it's not a Nostradamus group. It's a teach a man to fish group. Because I can give you a fish and you can eat today. Or I can teach you to fish and you can eat for a lifetime. Okay. Now, short-term wise, short-term options. Like I said, this is, you see I have this alert set here, right? That's what I'm looking to see break before I jump to any hasty conclusions. Okay. That breaks, then that's done. Can no longer extend. It's the wave 2 rule. Wave 2 cannot go past the start of wave 1. Can't do that. That's illegal, which means that that is a complete impulse and it's done. Which means the party's getting started. Now, how do you trade it? Well, join the Discord and we'll show you. Just be prepared to invest it in yourself, which takes time. That's about all I have to show you today. What was that, about 25 minutes? That's not too bad. 25 minutes. You'll likely see this video after the Discord has already seen it. After the Chart Wizard Trading community has seen it, they get first dibs. You get second dibs. So, hey, maybe by the time you see this, this will have already broken. Or maybe it hasn't. Maybe it's already showing us that it's going to extend. those are the near-term options for the S&P 500. Until next time, you all have a good one.